Hi, I'm Don Stigall. This is part 3 in a video series on the quarter scale clipped wing cub by the World Models. In part 2, I made an engine selection and I went with the DLE 30. One of the issues was that the thrust washer stuck out about an extra half an inch or so, and I considered using shorter standoffs on the engine and cutting a hole in the firewall, but I've decided against that, and I've also decided that I may actually switch to a completely different engine. The cowl on the Cub does not have engine moldings, and it comes with some plastic ones that would be easy to put on. But what I've decided to do is to make a cowl mold that has the dummy engines on it, and what I'm going to do is extend it by 3/4 of an inch to possibly an inch, because at the bottom you need some airflow coming out anyway, and the cowl will be long enough for any 30 to 35 cc engine you want to put on it. Now you can see that the standoffs for the DLE 30 are on it. The reason for that is that I found out about a neat accessory by EME Engines called the Electric Auto Start. MileHighRC.com sells this auto start. It has a bearing in this gear that allows an electric motor to spin it, but it doesn't spin the motor while the engine's running. So it's a pretty nifty setup, and it uses a brushed motor, and they have a controller that's servo controlled. If you put the choke on the servo and put the electric auto start on the servo, you can easily start your engine without having to flip the prop. I was excited about this possibility. The fuselage for the clipped wing Cub is shared by several airplanes that the World Models and the Wings Maker produce. The Super Cub uses the same fuselage, and I got one of the Wings Maker Super Cub cowls because it's wider, and obviously this is not going to fit inside this narrow cowl. Unfortunately, it's not quite wide enough. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to also make an extended version of the Super Cub cowl so that 30 to 35 cc engines can be used on this plane easily. I'll take the engine off of the test stand and stick it on the fuselage so you can see how much clearance is needed. It would be possible to cut an opening for the auto start, and I may consider doing that after I'm producing my own cowls and I can easily make them cheaply. I'll probably give that a try, but I may go with a DLE 35 R8 engine since I'm going to have a longer cowl and have the exhaust come out the bottom. And I'm also still considering going back to my SAITO 180 because I've run it on the bench and it's a nice running engine. But having a cowl with the dummy engines molded in will be convenient, and I will sell those. Here's the fuselage with the engine with the EME 35 electric start mounted, and if you put the Super Cub cowl on it, you can see that it is just a little too wide. I may actually carve a Super Cub cow that will work with this. It's not that I'm all that excited about the electric start, but I would like to have it as an option. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show the DLE 35 mounted on here with the muffler, and we'll see how the regular cow fits. Of course, I'll have the option of the Super Cub cow, but so I'm going to see how that DLE 35 RA fits, and I'll continue in my quest to figure out exactly how I'm going to power this airplane. I've mounted the DLE 35 on the Cub. I'm only using the bottom two standoffs actually screwed in. I haven't drilled the holes, the new holes for the top standoffs yet, because I wanted to see how everything fits. With the cow in place, you can see there's about 3/4 of an inch or so to the front of the drive washer. It actually may only be about 5/8, depends on where you put it. About the minimum you could get it would be 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch, and have the cow on where you want it. So the DLE 35 will fit right on the quarter scale clip wing Cub by the World Models, or the Cub, or the quarter scale Super Cub by the Wings Maker. The engine would be sticking out some if you use the cow from the Super Cub. As I mentioned, I've also been working with a SAITO 180 engine, and I have a YS 185. The 180 turns out to be almost as powerful as the 30 to 35 cc gas engines, and I may wind up going with the SAITO instead of the DLE 35. I'm going to weigh some options. I'm going to be making the cows in the meantime, so I'm not going to finish this project real soon. But as I make my decisions on the engine and the other things I need to do to complete this airplane, I'll continue the video series. I appreciate you watching. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Check out the links in the video. I now have drill bit charts available on Windows 10, Windows 8.1, and Windows Phone, as well as Android. And I'll soon have RC calculators for Windows 10, Windows Phone. And later in the year, I hope to have both those applications available on the iPhone and iPad. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the shop, or at the break-in stand, or somewhere doing some kind of RC modeling activity. Thanks for watching.